What's up? Tyler plugged on here with an album review, this time in a new album from the band Power Trip entitled Nightmare Logic. This is their second album. This is on Southern Lord Recordings. This is their first album since 2013, their debut, Manifest Decimation. Blech. Head back. I love that album. I didn't really know Power Trip too much until I saw them over a year ago now, open for Lamb of God and Anthrax in Death Heaven. What a weird tour, but great tour. And I was absolutely blown away by these guys. I was like, these guys are up my alley, and they just kick a lot of ass live. They're incredible. I would love to see them in a smaller venue because I hear they're very insane. But even in a larger venue, they were still pretty damn wild. So this definitely was on my radar. You know, I ended up picking up their debut album at that show and absolutely enjoyed songs like Crossbreaker, Murderer's Row, the title track, just completely kick ass. I have to say, this right now, February 28th, as I'm recording this, might be my favorite album of the year so far. I just absolutely love this album, man. It's Power Trip, but it sounds a little bit better. This is kind of how I think about it. Like, Power Trip, they're a thrash band, slash crossover. I just feel they're more thrashy. And they're just all about the riffs. They're all about energetic, fucking headbanging all the time. Go wild, stomp around the pit type of shit. And this is them. It sounds better, in my opinion. The production is just way better on this. But I personally don't want to see them go beyond this with their production. Like, this sounds fine, it sounds clean, but it still has enough grit and heaviness to it. And the biggest step up is the vocals. And I think the vocals just sound so fucking destructive with this production. They sounded, very cool on their first album, but here it sounds clean, but then just so angry at the same time. It's just an awesome production for this band, and I absolutely love it. It starts off with Soul Sacrifice, which is an awesome track, moves into one of my favorite one, Executioner's Tax, which just has some absolutely amazing riffs. There's amazing riffs all over the place, and this is one thing I love about Power Trip. To me, it's kind of like less is more type of thing. Their riffs are never complicated. They're very straightforward, and they're very just punch to the throat. And they get to the fucking point. And another thing I love about this band, and especially on this album, is I feel like, there's some thrash bands out there that, they'll write songs, a minute and a half, some thrash crossover stuff. Iron Reagan's one. I enjoy them, but their songs are like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, sometimes even way less. And that stuff is fine. I think it has a place, but I feel like a lot of times that shit's just cut short when it's just getting good. You know what I mean? You're just finally fucking feeling it. This, I just feel there is just enough meat on the bone. These songs aren't too short. They aren't too long. Like I said, they get to the point. They punch you in the face, and they move on, and it's great. There's only one slightly nitpicky thing. Songwriting wise, I think this is a really great album. These songs are a lot of fun, but there's just one moment on here where I just went, damn, I just wish it would have went somewhere else. And that is a track, If Not Us Then Who, which is one of my favorite tracks on the album. So it's one of my favorite tracks, but then it's slightly disappointing at the same time. I just don't like the ending. I think the ending is cool, but it always feels like it's building up to something, and then it just kind of stops. I don't know. That's the only little nitpicky thing I can really think about this with this album. The title track, Nightmare Logic, is probably my favorite song on the album, personally. I love the main riff. When it starts off, when the drums kick up, it's just nothing but, a palm mute pattern on the guitars. And it's just like, fucking move, stomp around the pit, headbang, grab somebody. It's like, damn, it just makes me fucking want to do something or hit something. It's fantastic. But then I think that song there is the strongest song vocally. I think those vocals, especially in the verses, just completely get stuck in my head all the time. It's just a great album, man. There's some really great moments. And one thing that I love, absolutely love, about Power Trip is like, there's, they'll start a riff off and it's just a guitar or something, and the beat's coming in, and the beat always ends up being perfect. It always feels how it should feel, type of thing. And there's times, Overkill is with their new album where I felt like, a different beat actually, in my opinion, could have worked a little bit better there. Maybe made a little bit more headbanging or something. But Power Trip always seems to just put it together, and this album is no exception. I absolutely love this album. If you can't tell, I highly recommend it if you're a fan of thrashiness and in energy and fun. It's great. 9 out of 10 for me. Nightmare Logic, Power Trip. Thanks for watching. Go check out Suicide Silence, Immolation, Weekly Breakdown. All kinds of cool stuff. See ya.